"You are a wise man, Signor," she whispered in his ear, and Panetta nearly leaped from his chair. She bent over him, her arms wrapping around him as she hugged tightly, kissing the balding area on the top of his head. Then she slid gracefully into the opposite seat. She wore black stirrup pants and black high-top sneakers. A leather jacket hid her figure, but from the neck he thought she might be wearing some kind of bodysuit. Her hair was short, almost sheared off in the back, with a handful hanging over the front, partially obscuring her eyes. Her makeup was severe, black slashes accentuating her Asian features. "You are quite late, Yukio," he said quietly, though with a pleasant smile on his face. "For a very important date," she agreed, flashing a disarming smile. She was a very charming woman, actually, which was most certainly part of her game, one of the tools she used for her work. And yet, her personality could be abrasive. As far as Panetta knew, Yukio had spent almost her entire life in Japan, and yet she seemed obsessed with Western culture, her every utterance some effort to prove that she had an American frame of reference. "Are you prepared to conclude our business?" he asked. Yukio nodded, but did not move to give him the disc. "Well," he said after a moment, "let me have it." "Whoa, Kamal," she said with a smile. "Relax. You've already got it." "What are you talking about?" he fumed, his voice rising. "I'm warning you, do not play games with me." "I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought," she said dryly. "Run away, run away." "Yukio," Panetta hissed. "Panetta, I told you. You've already got it. Search your feelings. You know it to be true." It dawned on him, then, that she could be telling the truth. As inconspicuously as possible, he patted the outside pockets of his suit, then reached for the inside pocket, as if going for his wallet. The disc was there. Panetta was not happy about being made to look a fool here in his home city, but he let it pass. Under the table, he used his foot to slide the soft black leather shoulder bag over to her chair. "I trust," he said, standing slowly, "that we will never see each other again." "Not unless you need me, sweetheart. And if you do, just whistle." Yukio was going to say more, but Panetta interrupted her. "Don't ask me if I know how to whistle," he snapped, frustrated. "I saw the damn movie." Yukio just giggled. It was clear to him that she knew how annoying she could be. She'd mastered the art. Panetta huffed and reached for his wallet, planning to leave a few thousand lira to cover his drink. He looked up as he dropped the money on the table, but Yukio and the black bag were gone. He hadn't heard a sound. A constant lunatic rhythm echoed through Bullseye's brain, a rhythm produced to avoid thinking about him, the red man. That was unhealthy. The assassin had been shadowing Dario Panetta through the weaving alleys of Venice, across canals and through open archways. He was completely silent, and yet he had to muffle a small chuckle. Panetta had 4 bodyguards with him. 2 walked at his side, 1 slipped through the shadows far ahead, scouting for trouble, and the last hung back to trip up anyone who tried to follow. They'd been in the trattoria when the thief, Yukio, had delivered the disc, and the woman hadn't noticed them. But then that wasn't her job, and she was too cocky to worry about not being able to defend herself. Bullseye admired her, in a way, and had no other quarrel with her, so he permitted her to leave the city alive. But these jesters in Panetta's court were another story. The man was wealthy, so his bodyguards were probably very good at what they did. But very good was dime a dozen common in their line of work, and Bullseye barely gave them a conscious thought. His confidence stemmed not from ego or arrogance, but from knowledge of his abilities. Still, he was a fair man, and he gave them a fighting chance simply by wearing the costume. He did, after all, have white on his hands, feet, and chest, which made him a target, even in the dark. Hell, he had a bullseye on his head, inviting them to take their shot. But they'd never even get a shot off. Panetta seemed more concerned about an ambush from the front, so he rarely glanced back to search the night for the guy batting the cleanup position on his team. Bullseye went for him first. He waited in the dark alley, barely 50 feet behind the bodyguard, who also sat in the pitch blackness watching Panetta and his sidemen cross a moonlit bridge over a